Doing okay? I know.
Docking integrity, 100%. Good to go, Cap.
I'm proud to be part of the Stroud-Eklund team.
On behalf of Stroud-Eklund, welcome. In our
Let me know if you have any
state-of-the-art
problems.
star yard, we are creating revolutionary new starships.
Hope you have a good
at
welcome to
prices
Stroud-Eklund.
that are out of this world. You've seen the rest.
I came in.
It's
It must have
time
cost
to try
a fortune to build this place so fast.
I can't tell. This is the Star Yard Walter can't stop talking about. I can certainly see why. It's a monumental operation.
I like Frank's design, but maybe we could pivot it to more of a research vessel? Something suited for deep space exploration.
That's a great suggestion. But you know what? We haven't heard from Nev yet. Maybe she has some marketing insights.
Okay, but... What if... Sorry, hear me out. What if we went for the family recreation demo instead? It's a much bigger market than Explorers, and no one else is doing it.
Oh, this must be Walter's consultant friend. Please, come join us. We've been waiting for you. Hello. Hi there. It means I'm responsible for making sure our projects are carried through to completion. I'm not the one calling all the shots per se, but I do need to ensure the people making those calls are empowered to do that within the limits the executive set for us. It might surprise you to hear that no, I have not. This is actually the first project I've led for Stroud-Eklund. I recently graduated with a master's degree in engineering management. I'm actually kind of surprised they hired me, but I was at the top of my class, so maybe they didn't want to lose me to some other star yard. Anyway, I'm grateful for the chance to do good work here. You must be Walter's colleague. He informed me that you'd be taking charge of Project Kepler despite the fact that we have a fully dedicated R&D staff already assigned to it. But that's okay. I'm sure that even though you have virtually no experience with this, you'll do a great job. Great! That's great. Cool, cool, cool. Well, since we have no other choice, let's get to it, shall we?
Oof, that is not a good sign.
As you probably know, we're tasked with coming up with Stroud-Eklund's next hit starship. But we have budget concerns, market research to finish, and we can't seem to agree on a design. So I guess Walter sent you to resolve these issues. Have at it. Sure, I'm Jules, R&D project lead. I was the one making all the big decisions. I suppose I just coordinate now. You already heard from Frank. He's lead designer on the project, focused on the look and feel of the ships. There's Ella, another senior designer. She focuses on some of the more technical designs of ships. Went to school with Frank. Mike is our senior engineer, responsible for consulting on all the technical bits, the machinery, the computer systems, etc. And then there's Nev. She's here for marketing. It's her job to weigh in and sell this thing to consumers. There are a lot of factors to consider. Who is our market and what do they want in a ship? Which components are we putting into it? How fast should it go? How much cargo capacity should it have? What color should it be? We need to decide every little detail. Okay, good. So, before we can do anything, we need to resolve the budget issue. We were charged with building the newest, hottest ship on the market, which won't be possible unless we petition the board for more money. So we have two new budget proposals. One will allow us to build what I consider to be a very sensible ship, but we'll have to make some tough design cuts. The other will allow us much more flexibility to put whatever we want into the ship. It's what I call the kitchen sink proposal. I don't love it, but it'll be next to impossible to approve. What should we go with? It's more that we can only choose certain design elements at the expense of others. In other words, if we go with something in Mike's design, there's not enough money in the budget for what Ella wants. That's one of the reasons we haven't been able to agree on anything. I'd love to, seriously. It would be a huge win for us if we came in under or at that budget. But none of the viable designs for this project can be made for that amount. I've already rejected that budget, so I have to go to the board regardless. And since you're now responsible for the major decisions, which budget proposal we go with falls on you. While it's true we'd be able to afford to put anything and everything into that design, it's just not practical, and the board will put more pressure on us to see that it succeeds. I worry that without constraints, my team will be disincentivized to focus this ship in any given direction. And they'll try to cram in everything but the kitchen sink, hence the name. Who knows what kind of monstrosity we'd create if we tried to incorporate all of our designs? And would something that expensive actually sell? That sounds good to me, but remember, this ship will have fewer bells and whistles. We're not going to be able to include everything we want. Frank's luxury design has the most expensive components, and we've been having trouble convincing him to move away from that idea so we can stay within the budget. We need his help. Do you think you can get him to budge?
I am right here, you know. I already gave my answer to Jules. We got nothing. Okay, I'm thinking. I do. It's a gamble. If we go over budget and the ship doesn't sell, it doesn't look good for us. Yeah, I hope so. Fine. I see what you're saying. Perhaps we tone down the luxury aspects a bit. Does it really need so much gold trim? Probably not.
Well done. Sometimes all people need is a bit of guidance to set them on the path to success.
Great, that's one problem solved. I'll go forward with that budget proposal and we can move on. Next, we need to gather some market data. The best way to do this is to outfit your ship with some sensors and take it through some real-world scenarios so we can make more informed design decisions. Well, Mr. Stroud believes you fit in our target demographic. We heard about some of your adventures, and we tend to agree that getting data from someone like you will be helpful. Frankly, most of our test pilots played a little too safe, and the scenarios we run don't push the limits as much as we can get away with legally. But luckily, we don't have those same concerns with you, because you're not technically employed by us, and Walter trusts you. Great! Just pick up a mission or two at the mission board and proceed like you normally would. We'll collect the data when you return. If you take on a variety of missions, we can build a ship to handle a variety of scenarios. But if you just fly one mission, we can build a more focused ship. It's up to you. In the meantime, you might also want to talk with the team, get to know them, give feedback on their proposals, etc. Good luck out there.
So, you're Walter's friend. I know he chose you to head this project as some sort of favor. Honestly, as senior technical designer, I was hoping to receive that honor, but there's always next time. Regardless, I'm excited to help you out. Do you have any experience building spaceships? I commend your honesty, but that does not set me at ease. Maybe we can still succeed if you listen to our advice. Now, I know you've been asked to give feedback on our design proposals. Would you care for a brief synopsis of mine? I'm the most senior designer on this project, for one. Despite all the acclaim he gets, I actually referred Frank to his current design position. He and I were in the same design program when we went to get our degrees back in uni. We support each other as friends as much as possible. Even when we disagree. I love my job here. But I dream one day of working for a small startup or running my own design firm so I can work on custom ships instead of mass-produced products. Of course. But first, let me ask you this. What pilot demographic is currently being underserved by the current starship market? Yes! Finally, a kindred spirit operating on my own wavelength. You see, while many ships will operate to that end, few ships are designed with exploration as their primary goal. It is my belief that if we build a ship with that in mind, Stroud Eklund will dominate that market sector. It's my hope that we can jumpstart a new era of affordable, accessible space exploration fueled by ordinary people like you and me. I'd start with a small ship profile. It won't need much storage or passenger capacity. Then, of course, you would want an advanced grav drive to reach deep space and plenty of energy for extended flights. In order to keep costs down, it likely doesn't need expensive weapon systems or defensive measures. It won't need those where it's going. And of course, high-end scanners and other scientific equipment is a must. Yeah, that's what Jules said too. But at least that gives me something to think about. Thanks. I'll refine the idea and propose it next time, I guess. Well, as a senior designer, I'm trusted to work on some pretty important features on these ships. Most of my work is on the technical features, designing them to be more user-friendly. Computer systems like navigation, targeting, you name it. It may not be as glamorous as what Frank does, but without me, these ships would be almost impossible for the average consumer to actually use. Why do I feel like answering this could be a trap coming from someone who was sent here by Walter to step in and take over our project? It's not like I have anything to hide. I used to think working for a super wealthy corporation would be terrible, but Honestly, it's pretty great. They've been good to me, and the stability is way better than any startup. I've had opportunities I wouldn't have anywhere else, so yeah. Pretty great. Bye.
I'm actually kind of amazed we finalized the budget. That was relatively painless.
I'm wondering if we need another chef in the kitchen. Then again, I hear Walter brought you in to finally make a decision around here. Well, how do I put this? My co-workers are smart people. But between you and me, they're in way over their head with this project. Jules especially. She's new at being a project lead and has insisted we design by committee, so everyone's voice is heard. Admirable. But no one could agree on anything, and we're running significantly behind because of it. Good. Just so long as you don't push us to make anything too nutty. I think your decisiveness will put us back on the right track. Speaking of which, I think my plan will get us where we need to be as quickly and efficiently as possible. It's simple, no frills, and most importantly, won't cause me any major headaches on the engineering side. Couldn't figure it out from the engineering talk? I'm an engineer, mate. It means I'm the one who's got to put together all these plans and actually make the bloody ship fly. Been doing it for going on 25 years at various star yards. They still haven't realized this place would fall apart if not for me. Instead of letting me get to my work, they keep giving me fancy new titles and got me tied up in endless meetings like this one. Let me tell you, all the creative minds around here are so concerned with designing the most innovative and fancy ships possible. They never stop to think about the kind of work it takes to do that in a reasonable time frame. I'm wondering if we need another chef in the kitchen. Then again, I hear Walter brought you in to finally make a decision around here. Well, quite the opposite, actually. See, I don't care who makes the decision, so long as someone does it. And said proposal doesn't make me regret getting into engineering. You get me? Speaking of which, I think my plan will get us where we need to be as quickly and efficiently as possible. It's simple, no frills, and most importantly, won't cause me any major headaches on the engineering side. Couldn't figure it out from the engineering talk? I'm an engineer, mate. It means I'm the one who's got to put together all these plans and actually make the bloody ship fly. Been doing it for going on 25 years at various star yards. They still haven't realized this place would fall apart if not for me. Instead of letting me get to my work, they keep giving me fancy new titles and got me tied up in endless meetings like this one. Let me tell you, all the creative minds around here are so concerned with designing the most innovative and fancy ships possible. They never stop to think about the kind of work it takes to do that in a reasonable time frame. Yes, we're engineers. Our job is to make the bloody impossible possible. But that doesn't mean it's easy or practical. That and there's never enough of us to go around. It's truth, and we need it. The others believe we need to think big and innovate. Reality is, we just need to do what we do better than anyone else. So I'm thinking, there's loads of fighters. No sense in mucking about with that again. And we've already got one of the best luxury liners in the biz. What I figure is, the cargo running business is booming, and no one's quite built a personal craft like that to serve the working class folk. Nothing fancy, no frills, Just a simple, sturdy, inexpensive ship with cargo room up the wazoo and make it so easy my cousin's little moppet could fly it. Our objective should be to build a huge ship with plenty of cargo room while keeping the costs low. Doesn't need fancy equipment, just the basics. Basic weapons, basic defenses, basic scanners. You get the idea. If we go with a design like that, I can focus on quality construction, and the ship will practically sell itself. Yes. Of course. Zhuzh it up, just enough to disappoint me even more when we ultimately end up choosing something ridiculous. Thanks. Yeah, that's me, innit? Been here since the start of the company. Done engineering for going on 30 years total. Though I keep telling them, it's senior, not lead engineer. I've got no interest in being lead. Too much management. Not enough tactile work. And yet here I am, resigned to my fate on the R&D team. I assume you mean the company and not the people. Because even if I didn't already think so, I'd tell you that both Walter and Issa are great. The company's still kind of young as far as Star Yards go, but it seems to be going in the right direction, despite what it may look like. I've been doing this for a while at other Star Yards, and so far, we're avoiding a lot of the mistakes some of the older corps have made. Nope, not really. I like to think I don't have the ego for it. I've got nothing to prove, and I don't rightly care to make my mark on the industry. All I want to do is build the best damn starships I can, and not get bogged down with all the excess particulars. But upper management loves the work I do, and they wouldn't let me say no to this. I guess they needed someone to keep everyone's heads out of the clouds, so here I am. Right. Take care.
Hi. Need something? Oh, no. Well, it's just... I'm a little new here, and everyone's got these big, flashy designs. And I'm supposed to come up with one too, but like, I don't know if it's as good or like, good at all, even. Thank you for saying that, but like, really? I don't know. Whatever. Here goes. So, I was thinking that we could really use a recreational craft in our fleet. But not like super luxurious like our Adonis pleasure yacht, something marketed more towards families. Something Mom and Dad could pack up and take the kids on vacation. You probably think that's stupid, right? I haven't thought of all the details, but I'd imagine lots of passenger space would be a top priority. A mid-sized ship with enough room for one, or maybe even 2 or 3 families to spread out and relax. I don't think it'd need any fancy weapons or scientific equipment, so it should be pretty affordable. Families don't want to spend a fortune, so keeping the cost low will help guarantee plenty of sales. I used to go off-world camping with my family when I was a kid. The other families we met always complained their ships weren't quite adequate for family vacations. They never had enough room, and the kids would always fight. I've done some market research, and like, no ship manufacturer seems to be making ships for things like this. Which means even if the demand is low, we can fill this niche and still sell a lot. Oh, really? Wow, I am... Thank you. I'm really glad I told you about it. Well, if we end up making it, I swear I'll work up a hell of an ad campaign for it. interesting. I'm new, and I've never done anything like this before coming here. Marketing for ships, specifically, that is. There are so many things to think of for different demographics, like style, features, cost, and all that. And you also need to think about offensive and defensive capabilities, because space is dangerous, and people need to feel like the ship they're buying is safe. Yeah, I've only been here for a few months. I did a little marketing for Chunks before this, but it was really more of an internship. Ships are, like, totally different than that. I applied for the job here on a whim because I thought it'd be fun. I never expected to be hired. So far I do. But, just between you and me, I feel like I'm in a little over my head. I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. But my bosses really seem to like my work, so I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm doing something right. I still feel weird pitching ideas to people who have been at this for so much longer than I have. See you later.
You know, I have designed spacecraft for over 10 years. So, you must have really impressed Walter for him to give you this project. Or maybe it's a bit of nepotism. Never mind that. Perhaps he sees in you what he sees in me. As a designer, I see the beauty in our craft and deliver that to the consumer. My desire is to make flying in our ships a joy to all the senses. I have won awards. I am proud of my work. But I do not like to brag. Rather, my goal is to change the board's perception of employees like myself from mere cogs in the corporate machine to value us as artists and let us do as we please. My hope is that he sees the passion in our work. In truth, I know he values me, but he has yet to truly cut me loose from the corporate reins and let me do as I wish. But I understand Walter has given you much greater control of our project. Perhaps I can learn from you and convince him I'm ready for the same. Ah, yes. At least you may be more open to my ideas than my colleagues. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Imagine a luxury craft designed for the most discerning of tastes. Every feature designed for comfort and peace of mind. High-end performance, precision engineering, a spacecraft for those who wish to be seen. This will be the most elite personal craft on the market. The ship should be mid-size, spacious but not bulky. We'll want to build it with the highest quality, most expensive modules available. It should feel safe but not threatening. Focus on defensive measures, not aggressive weaponry. Above all, you should be able to picture your favorite celebrity, or Walter himself, flying this ship and influencing others to buy as well. I think I understand what you mean. It is not enough to say it's a high-end luxury ship. Who is flying this ship? Where do they go? What is their story? And why do they crave such attention? Oh, thank you. I will think on this and improve on my proposal. Two words: conspicuous consumption. Are you familiar with this concept? Of course not. It's when someone buys something expensive, mostly because it is expensive in an effort to show off their wealth to others. So, If we target what the wealthy elite and celebrities want, and sell the ship at a premium, they will buy it, and others will follow in order to be trendy. Imagine a star like Borealis is seen getting out of one of our luxury ships. Everyone is going to want one, so they too can feel like a celebrity. Because I am the lead designer on the project, it is literally my job to design it. It is frustrating because I keep getting pushback, and Jules has this idea that we will make a better product by designing it all together. Since everyone has equal say, it led us to a standstill. It was much easier before. Just because I do not like how corporate we have become, doesn't mean I don't like getting paid. Besides, with every successful ship I design, I believe I can influence the company to shift away from typical corporate bullshit and back to taking risks by pursuing art and innovation. Then again, here we are. Yeah, see you.
I'm actually kind of amazed we finalized the budget. That was relatively painless. We're all super glad you're here, right, everyone? Well, it means I'm responsible for making sure our projects are carried through to completion. I'm not the one calling all the shots, per se, but I do need to ensure the people making those calls are empowered to do that within the limits the executive set for us. Oh, yes, I actually do have a proposal. I wasn't really expecting you to give me feedback, but why not, I guess. I'd like to see us branch out a bit more in the starfighter market. Bounty hunting and mercenary work are both big these days, especially among the hard-blooded free stars. I'm glad you brought that up. No, and yes, there's a lot of work out there that requires a capable fighting ship. But the real success comes from UC military contracts, which we would hope to attract by building a higher-end version of this ship platform for them. We'd want to give it strong weapons, tough defenses, plus good speed and maneuverability. Most starfighters are fairly small, and the tricky part is keeping costs down with all those fancy modules. You could be right. There's got to be a better way to pitch the idea. I'll give it some more thought. Thanks. We'll chat again soon, okay?
Yes? Until later.
I'm proud to be part of the Stroud-Eklund team.
Hey, Dad? Will you read to me tonight before bed?
Read to you? Sure. I'd like that very much. You haven't asked me to do that in a long time.
And will you do funny voices for the characters?
Round again.
Like you used to when I was little?
You just try and stop me.
Star Yard acknowledging civilian vessel. Our sales department is open. Please dock if you want to do business.
Docking complete.
When humanity finally left the cradle of Earth behind, the United Colonies was born.
I wish Deimos was exclusively a military contractor.
Deimos builds some of the toughest ships in the settled systems. That's probably why the UC Navy continues to contract with them to this day.
It's nice to see someone not in uniform. They can be so touchy, you know? Always eager to point out the slightest problem. Oh, please tell me you aren't secretly some high-ranking general, are you? What a relief. I assume you're here for a ship. Either that, or you are really, really lost. Mr. Henderson handles sales. But if you want to know anything about our ships, I'm your gal. I mean, they're very good, obviously. But these days, everyone's using the same core tech, right? Oh, shit. Do you know you can be lectured on being too honest? Right. What makes Deimos special, though, is the package. We've been building ships forever, and the way we put it all together, well, it's really good. In a, I'm gonna murder my enemies sort of way. Hmm? The UC Navy. I repaired just about every class of vessel there is. I even repaired Henderson's longsword once or twice. I swear that man has a guardian angel with him full time. Or 3. Deimos hired me because I know every rivet and microchip on these ships. So if Henderson gets stumped on something, it's showtime. Oh yeah? Well, I take that as a compliment. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It can be pretty hard working with these no-nonsense military types. Oops. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say things like that, at least not so loudly. I've already been written up twice this week. I can only take so many lectures. Man, I could really use a drink. Well, we don't have much of it at all. We have to keep up appearances. What I could really use is Jake's Stout, from Jake's Bar in New Atlantis, of course. Or the Well, to be more specific. I used to love that place when I lived there. I mean, Jake isn't friendly, but he could make a pretty good drink. Say, you're the traveling type, right? Would you mind grabbing me one of Jake's Stouts? Awesome! Thank you so much. I eagerly await your return. Oh, yeah. Bye.
No other ship can hold a candle to a Deimos. It's not yours.
Welcome to Deimos.
This is the heart of the UC.
You should be honored to step foot in here.
What do we have here? A civilian in my star yard. Deimos prides itself on being the UC's first and last line of defense in space. But we're more than happy to protect and arm bold entrepreneurs that do their business among the stars. Deimos has a starship to fill every need. Science vessels and the like. But what we're known for, what we're built for, is combat. Deimos starships have seen more action in more theaters than any of our competitors. Anyone that flies in space earns my respect. Heck, an independent may be even braver. You don't have a fleet at your back when the Crimson Fleet comes calling. So, let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you. Yes, they are. I flew my longsword in 43 combat missions. It never once failed me. That's what you get with Deimos. Our ships have been battle-tested for decades longer than anyone else. I've had a long and successful military career. Deimos starships have played a major part in it. In fact, I'm sure that if I flew any lesser starship, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now talking to you. That's what Deimos affords you. The confidence to go soaring into the fire, the death, and know that you will make it out alive. Suppose I do in a way. The excitement of barreling towards the enemy in a Deimos is a feeling that can't be replicated. Excellent. When you get serious about your spacecraft, come back to Deimos. If you can't afford our excellent. Sorry to see you go.
That feeling of sitting in the cockpit of a longsword, there's nothing like it.
If you want to survive out there, you've come to the right place.
These are hallowed halls.
Are you sure you're in the right place?
Generations of UC pilots were armed here.
That's a clean break. Ready to go.
Engines have been disabled.
Board is clear. You're docked.
Not worth it!
And that, my friend, is how we do things on Jet.
Do you have anything valuable?
Need something? indicators are green. We're free.
Having a good one?
Howdy. Mess with me and I'll serve you my famous knuckle sandwich. Scared, aren't ya? Best watch your pockets around me. Just saying. Oh, God, finally! I was getting bored.
You buying? You better be buying. I don't do small talk. Well, bye. You buying? You better be buying. Yeah? All right, then.
When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you.
Pressure normalized, and we're docked.
I wish Demos was exclusively a military contractor.
If you have any questions, I love... Oh, yes, thank you so much! And just so you know, I definitely will not be drinking this on the job. Definitely not.
Welcome to Deimos.
Deimos ships are responsible for...
Deimos is here to turn you in. Of course.
true piece of history.
When you get serious about... Today is the day. Sorry to see you go.
This is the heart of the UC.
Ship's detached. We're clear. Jump spinning down. Just look at those stars.
Unknown vessel, welcome to Stroud Eklund. You are clear to board.
All right, let's cycle that airlock and get aboard.
There's something I need to talk to you about. Ever since we talked about the Battle of Cassiopeia, I can't get what happened out of my mind. Was it that obvious? I thought I could handle these memories, but until I return to Cassiopeia, I'll never be able to put this to rest. The last time I saw my crew, their escape shuttle was headed for the planet's surface. I need to find the wreckage to ensure their memories are honored. I would like that. Actually, I need that. One problem though. Pinpointing the crew's shuttle wreckage is going to be like trying to find a grain of salt in a sandbox. I think we need to start by locating my old campsite on Cassiopeia 1. Shortly after I evacuated, I saw the ship come apart. The UC listed it as lost, so I assumed the Dauntless was completely destroyed. The Dauntless took heavy fire to the docking section during the battle. We had 3 shuttles. One was destroyed, and the other 2 were damaged. There was no other way off the ship. What's there to tell? I survived. My crew didn't. Still, I'll never forget my finger hovering over that launch button. Would I launch safely, or explode into a fireball? It turned out that my shuttle had just enough power to allow an emergency landing on the planet's surface. I wouldn't call what I did a soft landing, but thank you all the same. My shuttle should have the telemetry tracking data for the other shuttle aboard. It should give us an idea where it went down. That's if scavengers haven't completely stripped my ship for parts. It has a breathable atmosphere, indigenous fauna, and maybe a few abandoned mining outposts. Otherwise, it's not populated. Hold on. I don't know the exact location of my survival campsite. For that, we are going to have to head to Mast and see if we can get the information from my old friend, Admiral Logan. Your instincts are right on target. Logan and I butted heads more than once during my time with the Navigator Corps. We've never seen eye to eye. Look, I hope this isn't asking too much. Last thing I want to do is drag you into some kind of personal crusade. That's why I need you by my side. Truth is, I'm scared. When I set foot on Cassiopeia, I don't know if I'll be able to handle what I find. If I begin to fall apart, I need someone I can trust to keep me in check. Besides bad memories, I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it. Not yet. I know you will. You've always been there when I've needed your help. Why you continue to support me, I'll never understand. I don't know what to say. I've been so busy searching the stars for answers. I've overlooked what's been in front of me all this time. True love. Something I've seriously considered sharing with you for a long time. Just not ready. Not yet. You're right. I have. Hey, anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you have a lot to do. I really appreciate your offer to visit Cassiopeia. Hopefully, it'll bring me the closure that I've needed for far too long.
I can't believe Stroud pulled this off.
Well, we're making progress now, I guess. This is going great. Just fantastic.
It's an excellent design, Jules. A ship like that is quite versatile and suited to tackle all sorts of different missions. Well done.
So you managed to complete a couple different missions. This will give us lots of data to support building a ship that can tackle a variety of scenarios. Of course, if we build a ship like that, we may need the kitchen sink budget, but we'll see. Thanks for your help. Now we just need to solve our interpersonal issues so we can agree on a design. Easy, right?
Have you seen the specs on the Adonis?
I'd rather be in a ship that can defend itself. I don't want to be a target.
Because I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't. And as long as I'm being honest, it's kind of my fault. I had this idea that we should all collaborate on the design because I thought it'd give us the best results. And I'm not willing to give up on that idea. But it's made this challenging because it made everyone equally invested and no one wants to give up anything. You seem awfully confident for someone who doesn't know how long we've been dealing with this. I've tried everything I can think of besides some sort of hokey team building exercise. So, what do you think you can do differently? Okay, for real. It's mostly been just a bunch of arguing. First, we tried a group brainstorming session, and that went about as well as you can imagine. We tried individual designs, but that backfired. We've had meetings focused on individual aspects of the ship, and that just prolonged the process. I could have put my foot down and made a decision, but then I'd be giving up on my idea that collaboration will build us the best ship. That, and I don't want anyone to resign because of me. I can't believe I didn't think of that. It's fair. Everyone goes around the table and makes a cut. That way no one feels like they're the only one being asked to compromise. This should drive us towards a more focused design. And since Walter asked you to take the lead on this, I don't have to be the villain here. So you're sure about this? Great! Let's get ready to disappoint everyone equally. That's a good outlook, and easy to say for someone who doesn't have to deal with the aftermath. But let's hope you're right. Well, here goes nothing. Okay, everyone. Our friend here, remember, not me, has decided in order to move forward, we're going to go around the table and everyone is going to give up one major aspect of your design. It's the fairest way to do this, and ultimately, I think it's going to make our collective design choices a lot easier. Who wants to start? Okay, fine. I'll go first. I'm willing to cut some of the included hardpoints. It'll mean less firepower, but the consumer can still add them afterwards, I suppose.
You're looking at me, huh? I guess that means you want me to go. All right. Look, I'll be easy. You know I wasn't looking for anything fancy, but if I've got to make cuts, we can reduce some of the cargo bays.
I guess we can cut some of the extra sensors and data collection equipment? As long as this thing can still make it to deep space and back with no problem, I'll be happy.
I'd be willing to give up some of the passenger space, maybe. Yeah, that should be okay.
Frank?
What? I already agreed to cut a significant portion of the luxury features. Remember? I shouldn't need to cut anything else.
Well then, that wasn't so bad. I feel much more confident we can actually build this thing. Well, we're making progress now, I guess. Based on the decisions you made, it looks like we're going to end up with a very reasonable ship design. I have no worries about the feasibility of manufacturing and selling it. I hope not, but it's possible. If the ship sells well enough, the board will have no problem increasing the budget next time. The data you gathered for us will last a while too. And I think I picked up some useful techniques from you to help us work together better. It's going to be a smaller, sleeker, mid-range ship. I think it'll be best suited for an average consumer. Not too expensive, the ability to add a few options here and there, moderately defensible. It'll be decent for several use cases, but won't really excel at anything in particular. Now that we've addressed all our issues, we can move forward, finalize the design, and get this into production pretty quickly. If you could do us a favor and let Walter know that we're back on track, I'm sure he'll be thrilled. Thanks for your help.
Pressure normalizing. Undocking complete.
much as I'm eager to explore the universe, there's nothing quite like the feeling of returning home.
Hello there. Esco?
Greetings, Walter Stroud. How may I assist you?
No, I don't need anything. Just, checking in, seeing how you're doing.
At present, all systems are functioning well within established parameters.
Right. Well then, keep up the good work.
Affirmative, Captain.
Hope my
believe
employees
your
don't
ship
give you
will
too much
perform
trouble.
more efficiently if you bring me
Good to
on board.
hear. I figured as much. See, I just finished looking over the final design they sent over before you arrived. I've got to say I'm impressed with it. It's a bit safe, but also an elegant evolution of our past designs. I think it's going to be a great addition to our fleet. I'll be happy to make it my new personal ship. Additionally, I want you to have one of the first off the assembly line for all of your hard work. Feel free to pick it up at the Star Yard. Thanks again.
Great, let's see what you have. Stay safe, okay?
Bet you never expected to end up involved in something like this.
Never regretted coming out of retirement. Constellation's got the writ of the righteous. Keeps me young. Gave up my room in the lodge, so Andreja, jaw the words another time then.
I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this. Constellation, the artifacts. That doesn't sound crazy, does it? Ask if you've got questions. Speak up if you have ideas. We're all here for the same reason. There's certainly precedent, isn't there? We've been operating for a while now on the fringes of what humans, know and understand. Why rule anything out? I just think we should be open-minded. Keep everything on the table. It's just like the artifacts. The more we learn, the more we can start narrowing things down. It's the argument I have with Walter every other week. Science and reason have their place, but so does faith. We have all of them at our disposal, and I don't for 1 second believe they're mutually exclusive. Take care of yourself.
Still need to lift another set today. Been dragging.
Private sector. Now that's where the real money
Sarah Morgan. It's been what, almost 10 years?
Admiral, it's, good to see you again, sir.
You're not required to address me as sir. That protocol ended the moment you dropped your clusters on my desk, remember?
Look, Admiral, I'm not here to open old wounds.
Old wounds is an interesting turn of phrase, given our past. Listen to me, Commander. I'm not sure why you're here, but whatever it is, why don't you just get to it?
I'm here because I need your help, Admiral.
You need my help. That's interesting. The last time we spoke, you made it quite clear that you were turning your back on the Navy.
That was a decade ago. Things change. People change. Admiral, please. I didn't come here to argue. I'm here to come to terms with my past.
Your past is sitting in a closed file in the archives. That's where you left it when you walked out on the United Colonies. And what about you? Just who in the blazes are you anyway? Very well. Then, as a good friend, perhaps you could kindly explain to me why I shouldn't have the both of you escorted from the building.
With all due respect, Admiral, this is ridiculous. If you have a problem with me, then there's no need to berate my colleague.
I don't have a problem with you, Commander. I'm simply trying to determine why you deserve the Navy's help. That's quite a noble gesture. Is this true, Commander?
It's about Cassiopeia, Admiral. I'm heading back there to find out what happened to the crew of the Dauntless, and hopefully, to bring their legacy home.
That sounds like a dangerous operation. Are you certain it's worth the risk?
I don't know.
I understand. Mental scars left by war rarely heal quickly, if ever at all. I sympathize with your struggle, Commander.
I want to put an end to the sleepless nights, the nightmares, waking up in cold sweat. It's been difficult, Admiral.
I understand. And I believe I owe you an apology, Commander. Our last encounter has obviously distorted my impression of your character. What can I do to help?
If you wouldn't mind allowing me to access the files regarding my rescue, I'd be most grateful, Admiral.
That shouldn't be too difficult. I've sent all the relevant information to you, Slades. Was there anything else?
No, Admiral. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me, Commander. I just hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia. I don't mind at all. Go ahead. Let me know if you need anything else. Next stop, Cassiopeia, I assume.
Hey.
Let me know when you're...
Touchdown imminent.
Dad, can I have a pet?
A pet? When you live on a starship, pets and starships don't always mix up.
Aw, come on, please. I need somebody to talk to while I'm on the ship by myself.
Give him an inch. We'll see, Gumdrop.
I can't believe I'm here. It feels like walking into a dream. Oh, it's been nearly 20 years, but it feels like a lifetime. Strangely, this place looks exactly the same as I remember it. But that isn't possible, right? Just like a dream. I'm okay. It's just so surreal. Phew. Okay, so let me get my bearings for a moment. Yes, this looks correct. Those rock formations nearby look familiar. My old campsite shouldn't be far. Knowing that is the only reason that I'm here. Once we get to the campsite, we'll use that as a starting point to search for the cruise shuttle wreckage. Let's go. Some kind of an acrobat. Keep your eyes open for hostile creatures. They have the run of this place. I'm anxious to find my old crash site. Come on. Well, this is it. This is the spot where I spent close to a year waiting for rescue. Not exactly Paradiso, is it? Yeah? Well, inside I'm a shattered wreck. So, joke's on both of us, I suppose. Look at this thing. It's been sitting here rusting. I think we need to grab an emergency power cell to get the ship's computer up and running. No, I'm afraid that it can't. It's only designed to power individual systems. Even if it could, my old shuttle is far too damaged to be fully restored. Sure, if we're lucky. When I was stranded, I set up a distress beacon powered by emergency power cells. The beacon was up there on the plateau. I guess it's time to start climbing. Maybe you can get that to point us to the nearest restaurant. Haha. Setting up this beacon probably saved my life. Who knows how long I would have been stranded here. Why are we stopping? Have something for me? I hope that Why are we stopping? I hope that emergency power cell can revive the shuttle's computer. make sure you strip everything useful from that thing. If the other crash site turns out to be a dead end, I don't know what I'll do. We still have work to do. Let's keep on it. We've located where the other shuttle went down. I can't believe our plan worked. Well, we're not there yet. But damn, it does feel good. The telemetry data puts the wreckage out of range to hike. We're going to have to head back to the ship and land on a different part of the planet. Let's get going. I'll head to my crew position.
Engines firing. Here we go.
Recalculating. And orbit stabilizing.
Starting landing procedure.
Hey, Dad. Want to hear a joke?
Sure.
This view. Had I been on this planet under more pleasant circumstances, I might have had more time to appreciate the beauty it has to offer. You can't hide from me! I hope we find a use for that before it spoils. This is what's left of the cruise shuttle. But it looks like parts were scavenged and dragged somewhere else. Could there have been survivors? Fire is still fresh. Is there someone here that's still alive?
Oh, I'll shoot if I have to. Just turn around and leave. I know how to use this thing, and I will.
Oh my god. Who are you?
I'm nobody. Just go away. I'm not going to let anyone take my stuff again. No way. Both of you, just go! Hey, I'm not stupid. Last time people were here, they promised to help. They ended up tricking me. They stole all of my good stuff and left me behind. I'm not going to let that happen ever again. Answers? About what? How do I know you're telling the truth?
Stop it right now. Put away that gun and talk to us. We want to know what happened here.
See? You're not nice at all. I knew it. You're a liar. That's all grown-ups do is lie.
What? Oh. Yeah. Right. Exactly. I was wrong to get so angry. We are here to help you. And we promise to tell the truth.
I don't know. You're kind of scaring me. Why should I listen to you? no one's been looking for that crew since before I was born. So tell me another lie. Go ahead.
You were born here? Hold on. Oh my god. Your parents, your mum and your dad, what were their names?
Jenna and Elias. Why?
Jenna and Elias. Private Jenna Marsh and Corporal Elias Obrist. You're their daughter. Listen to me. I knew your parents. They worked with me on the Dauntless. I'm Commander Sarah Morgan.
You're Sarah Morgan? Mom and Dad's captain? My parents used to talk about you all the time. It's like a dream to finally meet you. My parents told me she was in command of their ship in a huge battle. They said she was a hero and the bravest person they ever knew. I know this is Cassiopeia. I've been here since I was born. I know my mother and father were from Gemsun or something like that. I bet it's like 1,000 miles away. Yeah? Well, I wish you wouldn't have taken so long. My parents are dead. My father died a long time ago. And my mother, she was killed by those monsters at the graveyard. It's just me here now. All by myself.
Let me ask you a question. Actually, I don't even know your name.
Oh, yeah. My name's Sona.
Sona. What a lovely name. Sona, you mentioned a graveyard. Is that where the crew is, you know?
Buried? Yeah. It's a bunch of stones with those necklaces like the ones my mom and dad had hanging on them.
Thank you, Sona. I'm going to talk to my friend here a minute, okay?
Okay, Sarah.
Phew. I don't even know where to begin. I'm trying to hold it together. There's just too much coming at me all at once, you know? I'm just so relieved that you're here. There's absolutely no way I could have handled this alone. Yeah. This isn't what I expected. At all. Oh, there's so much to process. But I don't have time to deal with it right now. If you want to help, then find that graveyard and bring me those necklaces Sona mentioned. I'm hoping they're my crew's gene tags. It's an identification tag worn by UC military personnel. It's encoded with the soldiers' medical information and a sample of their DNA. If we can bring them back to Jemison, it would be like bringing home the crew's bodies for a proper burial. Good. Just be careful. Sona's monsters are undoubtedly hostile life forms that have claimed the graveyard as their territory.
What is it? Mom had slates with learning stuff on them. She used them to teach me how to read and do science. Oh, and math too. Ugh. I think we looked at that stuff every day. She called it school time. I miss that. I miss her too. Mom was a doctor on her ship, so she taught me how to gather food and medicine from the plants. She also taught me how to shoot this gun, in case bad people or monsters tried to get me. Didn't help me save her, though. Sure, I guess it's okay. Mom told me Dad got hurt when their ship crashed on this planet. He was always lying down and sleeping a lot. But I don't know what made him so sick. I was really little when he died, so I don't remember a lot about him. Well, every day my mom would go up to the graveyard to visit Dad. Sometimes she'd let me go, sometimes I'd stay here. There was this one day where I couldn't go, and she never came back. I was really scared. I finally went up there and found her, but she was hurt really bad. I couldn't even bring her home. At least I was able to hug her before she died. If you want. Bunch of jerks. They pretended to be nice, but they were really mean. They made all these promises. They said they'd take me with them if I helped them load all of my stuff onto their ship. When I went to get the last bit of stuff that I had hid, they already took off and flew away. I think I cried for a whole day. I don't know. There was one lady and two guys. The lady was the one pretending to be nice to me. They were wearing spacesuits and had all kinds of guns. One of them had a big scar on his face. They looked pretty scary. I think I heard one of them say they were from the fleet, or something like that. Sounded weird to me. You sound just like my mom. She was always telling me, it's okay to be upset, all the time. Only problem is, it never made me feel better. When I get older, if I ever see those jerks again, I'm gonna make them give me all my stuff back. I'm watching you.
Nothing yet. I really need you to find those gene tags. Do be careful. I'm betting that grave site has been claimed by a hostile creature as its territory.
I have to say it? I said I don't want to go! Leave me alone!
Sona, calm down and listen to me. It's much too dangerous to stay here all by yourself, darling.
I don't care. This is my home. You can't make me leave.
We can't leave her here. It's not safe. She has to come back with us to Jemison. Oh, I don't know what to do. Can you talk to her? I knew I could depend on you. Now all we have to do is convince this poor girl that she's better off leaving the planet with us. I don't know if I have it in me to say the right things.
I can hear you talking about me. And I don't care what either of you say. I'm not going anywhere.
Look, I'm clearly out of my element here and not in the right state of mind. Could you just talk to her, please?
Why won't Sarah listen to me? I mean, kinda. I just met her. The only reason I'm trusting you at all is because my mom and dad said Sarah was a good person. I know she probably wants to help me out, but I really wish she'd listen to my part of the story. Mom told me 1,000 times that it wasn't Sarah's fault that that I'm stuck here. That still doesn't mean I should leave the only home I ever had, does it? Mom and Dad told me there was a whole universe out there, with thousands of planets. They showed me the maps and the star charts. That does sound pretty cool, but well, it's also kind of scary. It would be hard to leave the only home I've ever known. I never thought of it that way. But leaving Mom and Dad behind, it's really hard. Even though they're dead, I don't want to abandon them. Hey, yeah. Maybe I could get a cool ship just like yours. I'm sorry I yelled at everybody. I know you and Sarah are just trying to help. I'm going to go get my stuff and then I'll board your ship. Don't worry, I'll stay out of the way until we get, well, wherever we're going.
That poor girl. I hope we've made the right decision. Oh, I do hope that's true. We're ripping Sona from the only home she's ever known and casting her back into society. It's going to be difficult for her to adjust to the changes. Wherever she ends up, just promise me we'll check on her from time to time. Please. Thank you. Look, before we leave Cassiopeia behind, I wanted to say one more thing to you. Perhaps at the overlook we passed on the way here? I promise it won't take long. Let's go. jetpack damaged or something? Look, before we head back to the ship, I wanted to tell you how much of an amazing gift this has been. You had to push me to come out here, and if I hadn't have listened to you, the universe would probably have never known about that little girl. It's been a long journey, and I'm glad it's over. You know, this is the second time I've been on this world, and until this very moment I never stopped to reflect at just how magnificent it was. Oh, look at this place. This is the reason I'm out here, exploring the stars. Worlds upon worlds, just waiting to have their beauty discovered. Shedding this burden of my past has finally allowed me to open my eyes, wider than they've ever been opened before. And it's all because of you. Perhaps. I suppose we'll both have to think about that for a while now, won't we? Well, I suppose it's time to bid goodbye to Cassiopeia once again. This time, under much happier circumstances. Now, let's head back to Jemison. I want to give those gene tags you gathered to Admiral Logan and figure out what we're going to do with Sona.
This is United Colony Space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
I have things for you. Something on your mind? Yes, have a look. Talk to you soon.
What's new? Ahoy, Captain! I'm working hard, Captain! Bye!
Hello. Mm-hmm. Goodbye.
Ooh, long way down. So, what's new with you today?
Only those on official United Colonies business.
Yes? What?
Excuse me?
The UC's fleet must be the strongest out there. Now and always. There is no alternative. Welcome back. Did you find your answers?
Not only that, but we found someone there, alive. A child born from 2 of the crew that survived the crash. After her parents died, that poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known? Sona. Is that her name? She must be a remarkable young woman.
She's extraordinary, Admiral. And I'm afraid the United Colonies let her down.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. We did let her down. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. Poor thing's waiting for us at the lodge.
Hello. If you don't have official business, we ask you.
Yeah? Did you want to talk about something? There you are. I was wondering when you'd come and say hi to me.
Hello, Sona. I see you found your way to the lodge without any trouble.
Yeah, it was kind of hard though. All these people around. Never seen so many people in my entire life. Sarah gave me directions. She's really good at that. Riding that gnat thing was super cool. It was like magic or something. Like something from the stories Mom used to read. But the hardest part was having everyone staring at me. All these people in one place. It's kind of scaring me. I don't know why. Yeah, it was. I guess I'll have to be brave.
You're already one of the bravest people I've ever met. So, what do you think? Do you like it here, Sona?
At the lodge? Yeah, this place is huge. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. You must be like a bazillionaire, Sarah.
Oh, don't I wish? This place isn't mine alone. It belongs to everyone who's a part of Constellation. And I think it should belong to you too, Sona. I want you to stay here and make this your home.
Whoa. Does that mean I get to go exploring with both of you? Or wait, do I get my own ship?
Exactly. And this is the perfect place to begin your education.
I understand. Oh, and don't worry, I learn real fast, so you better get ready to have another member of Constellation signing on for missions.
I can't wait.
Well, anyway, thanks for letting me stay here. I promise I won't let either of you down.
I'm sure that you won't. Well, I think we should let Sona get settled. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to visit the Colony War Memorial now. I want to pay my final respects.
I have been idle here for a long time. I believe Barrett would describe this state as bored. Picture received.
Need something?
How's it going? Look at this. All these people. Their entire lives distilled down to names on a memorial.
It means,
I wonder how close
more
I
than
came
enough.
to being reduced to
As in,
just a name.
Koroko has a superfluous amount of books.
No! I won't have more than enough until I have a super...
I am proud. I was simply too foolish to realize it until you changed my perspective. And I care about you too. There's obviously some kind of a connection between us that I think we need to discuss. Just let me have another moment here, and then we can head over to the waterfall, so we can talk in private. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
You'll be scanned as you enter the city. Please. Okay.
It's lovely here, isn't it? I've been from one end of the settled systems to the other. But this place, this exact spot, there's nowhere else like it in the galaxy. I don't know. I'm not sure I can explain it. Maybe it's the strange way that the art, technology, and nature fuse together, or maybe it's because it feels like home. Whatever it is, I definitely feel more comfortable here than anywhere else I've ever been. I knew you'd appreciate it. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this very spot. Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. I've certainly learned that you can't make everyone happy. Anyway, I didn't ask you up here to admire the scenery. I asked you up here because I wanted to talk about something very important. Good. Because I have a lot to say. It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life. In all honesty, I don't. She simply reminds me of my own isolation. Maybe not in the literal sense of the word, but I certainly relate to some of her loneliness. Don't get me wrong. Compared to Sona, I've had it easy. I've spent my life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear. Are you sure? For all we know, it's in my nature to keep people at arm's length. Or worse, push them away. Finding someone like that would be wonderful. Wait a second. What exactly are you saying? Sorry, I just need a moment to gather my thoughts. From things you've said in the past, it's obvious you want to have a serious relationship. You want to become close. So, if you're willing to take that leap of faith with someone like me, then I'm ready to do the same. I can't imagine being in love with anyone else. So, if you're willing to make the leap, I'm ready to do the same. You're something truly special. You know that? You've helped me conquer my self-doubt, my confidence, hell, everything. For the first time in my life, I feel complete. And with you by my side, I'm convinced that feeling will last forever. You're the best thing that's happened to me in my life. I love you. Always. I have something I need to discuss with you. I received a message from my mother a few days ago. She's returned from another one of her sightseeing cruises. Yeah, you know, one of those luxury liner journeys that shows off binary stars, gas nebulas, asteroid fields. Pretty photogenic stuff. Apparently, it's my mother's new favorite pastime. Oh, that's right. I haven't really spoken about her to you, have I? My mother lives in a fairly remote location, so we rarely speak. Tends to keep her out of my mind. Sure, when you're younger. But as soon as you get older and they begin controlling your life, that's when you need to strike out on your own. Oh, I'm certain they felt they were doing the right thing. You see, both of my parents were diplomats working under the flag of the UC Administrative Division. After I completed my basic education, they signed me up for a one-year apprenticeship in their department, without bothering to ask. Look, I was 18 years old, fresh out of school, and I idolized my parents. I trusted them. I'm certain they felt they were doing what was best for their daughter. Who was I to argue? Wanted isn't the right word. Demanded would be more appropriate. For my apprenticeship, I was sent to Sidonia. My job consisted of drafting political policies and arbitrating trade disputes. The silver lining of the job was that it allowed me to spend time exploring every square inch of Mars. I was swallowed by it. Months before the apprenticeship ended, I dumped my diplomatic certification and joined the UC Navy. Of course, my parents didn't approve. We had a huge argument that resulted in all ties being severed between us. Yes, I was proud of myself. For a while. You see, my father was killed during the opening shots of the Colony War. I returned to Jemison for the funeral and reunited with my mother. After that, we vowed to stay in touch. After the Freestar Collective started farming Vesta, and the UC pushed back, my father was one of the many diplomats sent in to arbitrate. After the talks broke down, war broke out on Vesta, and all of the UC diplomats were evacuated from Freestar space. Unfortunately, my father's transport was caught in the crossfire. Oh, aren't you sweet? Always concerned with how I'm feeling. That's why I fell in love with you. Your smile, your caring. It brightens even my darkest days. Listen, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. All this talk of family, it makes me wonder where our own relationship stands. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I regret the family life I left behind when I took off for the stars. If there was ever a chance for something like that between us, I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity. I love you too much to allow that to happen. That's why I asked about our future and where we stand. You mean that? You'd do that? For me? I've been dreaming about this moment and still, I don't know what to say. I swear, I'll love you until forever itself ends. I just need a little time to think about the ceremony. I have some thoughts about how we should move forward. You know, I used to dream about finding the love of my life. And here you are. All I ever needed was you, right here beside me. If you need something, I've got your back. We're in love. Do you even need to ask? Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done that enough times for me. Of course you can, sweetie. Every time you say those things, it feels like I'm in heaven. Take care of yourself.